Welcome to another deep dive. We're excited you're here with us, ready to, well, dive deep into the stuff you've sent our way today. Looks like we're all about the Primal Hunter 11, a LitRPG adventure.
Nice.
Yeah, looks like you sent over the Amazon page and like a little description, an excerpt kind of thing. So the goal,
Yeah.
to really get what this book, this whole series really, is all about.
I think we have a really cool chance here to kind of go beyond just the surface stuff, really figure out why this book and the whole lit RPG thing, why it grabs people so much.
For sure. So the Primal Hunter 11, this Nevermore place, things are getting serious there. We're past the leveling up, it seems. Now it's all about these challenge dungeons. What jumps out at you about that shift?
Well, what hits me right away is how these challenge dungeons are like directly tied to the Nevermore leaderboards.
Hmm.
It's not just about getting stronger yourself anymore. It's like straight up high stakes competition for the top spots. So it feels like a whole new chapter, right? All that leveling up, all that early stuff, it's like it's all been leading to this, Got to prove yourself in front of everybody. Kind of like training's over. Now it's showtime, but on a huge scale.
Makes sense. And it's not just like competing against, I don't know, random names, right? Jake, our main guy, he's got this rival, El Haken, another chosen like him. Does that personal rivalry, does it change things?
Oh, yeah, that personal angle, it's huge. It pulls you in,
Yeah.
It's not just about numbers on a board. It's Jake having to prove himself against someone he probably knows. Maybe they've got history. Maybe they're both super powerful. It makes it matter more than just points or whatever. And that chosen thing implies some sort of like special group, right? Maybe unique powers, maybe destiny kind of stuff. Makes the whole rivalry a bigger deal.
Totally. And these challenge dungeons, they're throwing everything at Jake. Crazy environments, weird scenarios, tons of enemies, duels even. And they specifically mention the labyrinth. When you see labyrinths, what pops into your head?
Labyrinths, in this kind of setting, they're usually more than just a maze.
Wow.
They're puzzles, traps, maybe even like encounters with special rules, guardians, stuff like that. So I think it's bringing back that old school dungeon crawl vibe,
Yeah.
but in a competition setting.
Hmm.
Makes you think, is there a way to beat these labyrinths faster, smarter than everyone else?
Definitely add some layers.
Yeah.
Okay, so for someone who might be new to this whole Primal Hunter thing, or even Lit RPG in general, they call it Apocalypse, Lit RPG. Can you break that down? What does that usually mean?
Sure. Apocalypse Lit RPG is basically you take a world and something huge has happened, right? Society's collapsed, aliens invaded, some huge disaster.
Yeah.
And then you add the rules of a video game, a role-playing game.
Got it.
So the characters, they level up, get skills, find loot, they choose classes, professions, all that. But they're doing it in this super intense survival kind of world. And then the progression fantasy part, that's all about the character getting stronger, growing, overcoming these crazy challenges.
So we see Jake, he starts as a board office worker and he becomes this, apex hunter.
Mhm.
Why do you think people love this kind of power fantasy in Lit RPG?
There are a few reasons, I think. One, it's just fun to imagine yourself overcoming stuff, becoming super strong.
Yeah.
That's in a lot of fantasy stories, right? But Lit RPG adds something. It makes that progress like a real thing.
Right.
Numbers going up, you can see it, it feels earned.
Mm-hmm.
And the multiverse thing, that just blows it wide open. It's like Jake can keep getting stronger forever. The possibilities are endless.
Let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at some of the details, the hard facts from Amazon. The Primal Hunter 11 is an Audible audio edition by Zogarth, narrated by Travis Baldry, big name, published by Aethon Audio. It's in all the usual formats, but the audiobook, it's long, 23 hours and 31 minutes. What does that tell you?
It's a big story. It's going to be complex, lots of characters, probably a lot of world building going on. For fans who love this stuff, that's a good thing. It's like a vacation. They can really get lost in it. And it shows that the creators, they're really putting in the effort, making something big.
It's also book 11 out of 12, so we're getting close to the end of this whole arc, this storyline. And it's doing really well. It's high up on the Amazon bestsellers list for Audible books and originals and action, adventure, fantasy. What is that popularity? What does it say about the series?
Well, it being that high up means it's consistently popular, right? People are buying it, enjoying it, coming back for more. The Primal Hunter has a fan base, a big one, and they're engaged. They're not just buying it and forgetting about it. It also means it's competing with the other big names, the popular stuff in that genre, and holding its own.
And speaking of what people are saying, the overall rating is super positive, 4.8 out of 5 stars. Over 5,700 ratings from all over the world. Seems like people are into the story, the action, the adventure. What else are you seeing?
Yeah, the AI summary of all the reviews, it highlights a few things that seem to be driving that positive response. Words like readability,
Mm.
story quality, enjoyment, they pop up a lot. It means the book is easy to get into, and it keeps people hooked. Series quality, being mentioned often, tells us that longtime fans, they think this book is as good as the others. It's living up to the standard.
Yeah. Some people are saying stuff like very great dungeon crawl and that the trials, the challenges Jake goes through, they're captivating. People seem to like that there's a good balance between the fighting and the story, which as we talked about is a big deal in lit RPG. They're also mentioning the humor, the exciting fights, Jake growing as a character. Oh, and someone said general game-breaking shenanigans, which I gotta say sounds pretty fun. Classic lit RPG, finding clever ways to bend the rules, maybe.
Yeah, that creative and exciting part about the trials, that's interesting. It sounds like the author, they're not just using the same old challenges.
Mm.
They're finding new ways to keep it fresh, keep Jake on his toes, even after 11 books, which is impressive. The writing style overall seems to be working. People like it. But it's worth mentioning, there's a bit of a difference of opinion. Some people felt the explanations were a bit much, kind of detailed, even rambling sometimes.
Right. So not everyone is a fan of all the detail, even if it's meant to, make you feel like you're really there. Some people, they might feel like it slows things down. And we see that in some of the reviews. Someone said the last book was just okay. Maybe they weren't as into it. And others, they talked about how long some of the explanations were. It shows you how everyone experiences pacing differently. What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing that jumped out was someone saying the ending felt abrupt, especially for such a long book.
Yeah.
And one person said they wished the current arc, the storyline, they wished it was finished in this book, in book 11. It shows you how invested the readers are. They have high expectations. It's hard for authors,
Yeah.
balancing those plot threads, giving people closure, but also setting up the next book.
It's a tough job for sure. But overall, all those common themes, readability, the story being good, people enjoying it, the series staying strong, it paints a good picture, right? People like this book.
And for you, our listener,
Yeah.
you're all about getting the info quickly but thoroughly right,
Hmm.
wanting those aha moments, but not wanting to be overwhelmed. Hopefully this look at the Amazon page, all the details, all the descriptions, it's giving you a good idea of what the Primal Hunter 11 is all about and where it fits in the series.
Okay, so to wrap up our deep dive, the Primal Hunter 11, it's a shift. Things are getting competitive. It's all about the leaderboards now. And these challenge dungeons, they're a big deal. Jake's rivalry with El Haken adds another layer, makes it personal. And the whole Apocalypse Lit RPG thing, this series, it's still delivering, giving people that character growth, those crazy adventures, in a huge multiverse. People mostly love it, but there are some different opinions about the pacing and how much detail there is.
And because it's got that mix, those game elements and that strong story, it makes me think about something. In LitRPG, where you can see the character getting stronger, leveling up, all that, does that change how connected you feel to the character,
Mm,
to their journey? Does it make the story more real, more immersive?
that's something to think about.
It's a question worth exploring. It's about how the rules of the game and the story itself, how they work together.
Great stuff. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.
Bye. Bye.